Hi everybody, welcome back. This is Triston from Tag Translations and Design, OP Localization and Translation. And today we're going to talk a little bit more about sitemaps and backlinking for your website. One of our viewers, Kathy, had asked about Attracta, which we used in another video, and asked about how to set it up. And it turns out I kind of goofed up. I have free access to Attracta through my hosting service provider, the guys who actually house my websites. But it turns out it's not free to the general public, or at least it isn't anymore. So there are a couple of ways to get around that. In reality, Attracta only does two things for us. They give us an easy way to create and submit sitemaps, and they help us get started with backlinking. So our first questions are, what are these things and why should I care? And those are great questions. So to answer them, we need to know a little bit more about the internet and how it works. So basically, a browser like Google or Bing has a job, and that job is to find whatever it is that you're looking for. So if you search for baby pandas, it's going to find you baby pandas. But then the question is, how does something like Google know where that information is located? Well, what they do is they use these tiny little programs called bots or spiders, and they use these to read each and every website and every page on the internet. And a sitemap is like a guide for these little critters. It tells them how many pages there are, if there's any content that it shouldn't be reading, what kind of keywords you're using, and so on. Right now, your browser has millions and millions of websites listed in this database, but you just want baby pandas. So say it has 400 billion trillion baby panda websites. The question then becomes, which of all those links is going to take up that first spot? Which one's going to take up the second spot? Now the other job of the browser is to identify the information that's going to be most helpful to you, and to rank that content. There are a lot of different things that can affect the ranking of your website, like your click-through rates, the time people spend on your website, how often you change your sites and update your sitemap, and backlinking, among a huge list of other things as well. And basically the goal is to build credibility. So if people spend a lot of time on your website, then it must mean that you have valuable and credible content. Say you host baby pandas and My Little Pony figurines, and all these other websites also have links on their websites that go back to your website, which Google then finds through the sitemaps, and so that must mean that you have a lot of valuable content. You have credible content, and that means you have a credible website. And that means that it's more likely for that information, and that means that it's more likely that the information on your website is the answer, and it means that it's more likely that your website has the information the person is looking for. So now that we have that out of the way, let's take a look back at Attracta. Like we said before, basically what they do is they give us an easy way to create and submit sitemaps, and they give us a little bit of backlinking to start out. The thing is though, these are all things that we can do by ourselves. We don't need Attracta in order to do that. In fact, we can do it for free. In order to get this done, we need access to a couple different things, since we're going to be doing this manually instead of using an automated system. Now the same process is used across a wide variety of different web browsers, and so if you do have a different local flavor that you prefer, you can do the exact same thing and it'll ask for the same information. So to get started, we're going to head over to Google Webmaster Tools, and of course you'll want to look for the equivalent in whatever browser you're using, and then once you learn the process you can repeat it for those other browsers. You'll also need to have your Weebly site open, since we need to add a line of code to the header. Don't freak out, we're just going to copy and paste something. Chill. Let's get started. First off, let's shrink me back down to my proper size. Shrinking Triston's. I know! I'm shrinking. I'm should probably do something a little bit bigger, over like that. I'll move this over there, and then we'll crop this, and then we'll drop that. Shove it. Okay, so there's one thing I want to show you before we get too far into this. If you are using a hosting service provider, something like Hostgator or one of the myriad of other programs out there, you may already have access to Attracta. Now if you come over here, this is the Attracta website, click on About Us, our web hosting partners. This actually has a list of all the hosting providers that have partnered with Attracta and will give you free access. This is Hostgator right here. This is the one I use. I really like it. It's $3, $4 a month for a website. I actually have the next step up, and it gives me an unlimited number of websites, and I just pay a flat $10 a month. I think I have something like 20 websites active right now, so it works out pretty good. And as you can see, there's actually a lot of these things, so you have quite a few options, and I know some of these are even cheaper than Hostgator. JWeb. I thought that was funny because my wife is from Argentina and everybody's J. Okay, so first and foremost, we need to open up our website, and we want to come over here to where it says Settings and SEO, and then we specifically want this part right here. And actually, we're going to be adding this line. I already added it because I was trying to practice this, but we're going to learn where this line comes from. So first thing we need to do is we need to pull up our Google Webmaster Tools. Just do a search for it, and it'll pop right up. Number 1, and have great SEO. Click on that. Add a site. Now we're going to add the website that we're going to be working on. This one is dragontranslator.weebly.com. Continue. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is we need to verify this, and I think it's actually already been verified because I've had this site on here for a while. Okay, now since I already have this particular website already set up because I had used it for a couple other things, we're going to do a different one. This one is projectartt.com. This is an app that my company's building for translations, and it's really cool. And it's almost done, so if you want to come and sell it, you're more than welcome to. Alright, so this is the first screen that we're going to see. We want to click on alternate methods, and we want to add an HTML tag to our website. And we just copy that. Done. Okay, so we come back here to our website, and SEO. Here's our header code. Copy and paste. Save. I can't see the save button because I have my head in the way. Save. Publish. And we're done with that. So let's come back over here. He's going to ask us now to verify the website. So if we click verify right down here in the corner, you're done. Woohoo! Then we'll hit continue. So now that we've been verified, we need to create a sitemap. Now Weebly actually already has a sitemap for us. We just need to publish it. So we click on the sitemap button. You can also click on crawl and scroll down to sitemaps. And once we're on this screen, we want to come over to this button in the upper right hand corner. It says add and test a sitemap. Click on it. Click on this box right here, and then we're just going to write this in. It's sitemap.xml. And hit submit. It'll take just a moment. Refresh the page. Woohoo! We're done. There it is. It reads 20 different pages, and we are now officially on Google. Woohoo! Okay, now that was actually the hard part. So here's the next step. Now we're talking a little bit about backlinking. And like I said, that's the other thing that Attracta can do for us because it makes it really easy because you just push a couple buttons, you tell it what your website's about, and then they start adding links to a couple other websites that they own, and it helps build some of your website's credibility. Now the thing is that there are a lot of ways to do that. If you think about it, you actually already have access to a lot of websites where you can backlink to your own website. For example, if you're a pros member, you can add a link to your website on your pros.com profile. If you're on Translator Cafe, you can do the same thing. If you're on LinkedIn, you can do the same thing. If you have a Facebook page, you can do the same thing. If you have a Twitter account, you can do the same thing. You can do it on YouTube, you can do it on Pinterest, you can do it on Instagram. You can do it on all these different places. And the other nice thing about it is that if you make good content, if you make something that's easily shared, then if people share that, that's another link, and that starts to build up. Now, using social media isn't the best option right off the bat because Google and these other systems already know that it's really easy to just get in there and start making links. But it's a great place to start because that way you're letting people know, hey, this website exists, check it out, come visit, and feel free to share, add links back on your websites to it, and you start building up this huge network of websites that link back to your site, and then that way you can get the benefits from backlinking like what you see from Attracta. In fact, that's one of the things that first started bringing people to my blog was I had written something, I forget what it was now. I think it was something about getting into, it was my post on getting into video game translation. That's like a year old now and I have to go and rewrite. And somebody found it on Twitter and they really liked it, and so this particular individual has a kind of like a newsletter that she writes every month where she goes through and she picks out some of the best blogs and tweets and other articles and posts them on this website. And then people can come into the website. It's kind of like a consolidated place where you can get a whole bunch of translation news. Then they get into the website. It has a link back to that particular blog post that I wrote, and they come back to my site. And it really helped, and it actually boosted up my my ranking by quite a bit. And I was really surprised. So thank you for that. So it's not hard. Like I said, just have good content that's valuable, content that helps you, and share it. It's really that simple. So Kathy, like I had mentioned earlier, I'm sorry I goofed up and I told you that Attracta was completely free when it turns out it's not completely free, but I hope that this does answer some of your questions about how you can. But I hope this does help compensate and replaces some of the benefits that Attracta offers. And in fact, I would even go so far as to say that as far as the site maps, I think the system's actually better because it updates more often as compared to coming in every week and updating it manually. And so in that sense, it might even be better off. And as far as the backlinks, like I said, it's something that helps out at first, but it's something that you'll build up naturally over time. Okay, and before I let you guys go, there is one last thing I want to let you know. My wife and I had this crazy idea the other day. Somebody was complaining about their website on one of the forums that we like to haunt. There's complaining that their website wasn't as pretty as they would like. And we thought, you know, wouldn't it be fun if we were to have like some sort of contest or something and have people share their ugly website, so we could do kind of like an extreme makeover but for a website. So what we're thinking is we'd like to have all of you to share a link to your website here on YouTube. Hey, free backlinking. Then we'll go through, we'll take a look at it, and we'll find the worst of them, and we'll offer a free website makeover. And so we'll go through, we'll design everything, and we'll put everything together, and then we'll send it to you, and you can either upload it to your servers, or if you're doing it through Weebly, you know, you can just give us access to it. Make us administrators, or you can give us access to your website through Weebly, and then we can go in and we can tweak things and see what we can do. And we thought that it'd be a neat thing to interact with some of you guys, let you know that we're real people and we really do want to help. And then at the same time, we can go over more of the questions, more of the design aspects of a website, have a couple more examples of actually building it, putting it together, instead of just the one silly one that I made for an imaginary translator. So if you would like to participate, if you have an ugly website, and if you're looking for an extreme makeover, leave us a link to your website here in the comments, or you can send it to me in a message if you prefer doing it that way. And like I said, we'll probably do it here in about a week or two, so you have a little bit of time. We just wanted to give you guys a head start, and then we'll be posting these on Facebook and Twitter and Pros and all those other places too. So if you're interested, like I said, shoot us an email or leave us a comment here, and we'd love to take a look. So that's it for me today. This is Triston from Tag Translations and Design, OP Localization and Translation. Have yourselves a great evening. See you in game. Peace. Ciao.